It's a midweek edition of iBrand Daybreak. Good morning, and a happy Wednesday morning to you. We are excited to be with you in the studio this morning, and I'm sure you're also excited to watch us come to your screens and bring you some goodness we have for you on the show today. It promises to be a roller coaster of interesting lineup of events, and I'll just leave you to wait for that. My name is Margaret Obara, and as usual, I have my colleague. Good morning.
Michael, not very much around here. We've got a fantastic package for you this morning, as usual. Yeah, both of us put together are going to make you have the real good feeling we have in store for you. And the rest of the day will be,
I like that.
Right, now, let's go ahead with getting you to know some of the items we have on the show today. We have news update, paper review, topic for discussion, sports review, and of course, we are going to close as usual with a social media buzz. Let's now raise the curtain on the news updates. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, on Tuesday received an official communication from President Muhammadu Buhari asking the National Assembly to approve a supplementary budget of 895 billion naira. The amount had earlier been approved by the federal government and executive council. A large chunk of the money was meant to fund the procurement of military hardware to prosecute the war against insurgency and banditry. The federal government is also expected to spend the remaining amount on health.
And also the Senate has confirmed the appointment of Major General Farouk Yahaya as new Chief of Army Staff. The Red Chamber took the decision on Tuesday after they considered the report of its Joint Committee on Defense and Army led by Senators Aliyu Wamako and Ali Ndume. On June 2nd, the President of the Senate had referred the request of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, for Yahaya's confirmation to the committee.
Meanwhile, the ECOWAS Court of Justice in Abuja has restrained the federal government from imposing sanctions or harassing, intimidating, arresting, or prosecuting Twitter users. This follows the filing of a lawsuit at the ECOWAS Court by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and 176 concerned Nigerians. The plaintiffs prayed the court to declare the suspension of Twitter and the planned prosecution of Twitter users in Nigeria as unlawful.
Now on the foreign scene, a proposal to reform U.S. elections faces opposition from Republicans as it hits the Senate today. Democrats say the plan is vital to protecting Americans' rights to vote, but Republicans say it infringes on state rights. Democrats are unlikely to garner the 60 votes needed in the 100-member Senate to advance the legislation. All right, then that wraps it up for our news update at this hour. We'll take a short break now. After the break, we'll have a newspaper review. Stay with us.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found a solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Market just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do na make you go for the open am. take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again, my brother no waste time again. Just go buy banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447, 080 35 64 4436, 070 66 63 8213. Banga Fresh Palm Fruit.
It's Wednesday morning, still on Daybreak show, and we are here bringing you the newspapers review. And we have right here now, exactly, it's going to come from Abuja via Skype, Monday Obani. Monday Obani, of course, you know, I guess, is a legal practitioner and the chairman NBA Spidal. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, we are kicking off with the Punch. Screaming headline there. Federal government disobeys own law, flouts workers' pension remittance. At the topmost portion of the paper, we have Buhari, born again Democrat, wants to return Decree 4 through Lai Mohammed. This is coming from media chiefs. Ex-Representative Lawan jailed 7 years over Otedola's $500,000 bribe.
Right now, the nation, the top story says, Twitter, ECOWAS court stops government from sanctioning users. Court orders federal government to pay Rivers Akwa Ibom $3.3 billion. Now, the topmost part of the paper says, ex-rep Lawan gets 7-year jail for $500,000 bribe, and bandits heading for Oyo intercepted. And that's in middle part of the paper says, who is afraid of the media is news analysis at the front page of the Nation newspaper. Over to you, Michael.
This day, newspaper is next. Jonathan, inability to manage Nigeria's diversity, cause of growing tensions. Buhari sends 895.84 billion naira supplementary appropriation bill to Senate. And the last one there, Muhammad Malami, Fashola, others to meet Twitter over suspension.
Now, to Nigerian Tribune, quite a number of stories there, but we'll just take 3 of them. The topmost part of the paper says, unknown persons courts takes away 7-year-old boy's hands in Kwara. NLC to embark on nationwide strike. Senators investigate NIMC over 229 million naira contract. Now, the top story says Lai Mohammed Malami Pantami Fashola to engage with Twitter over ban. And lastly, for the Nigerian Tribune, the ABC of the 1963 Constitution. That story is on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. And now, Mondo Bani is back to you. Thank you for joining us. Meanwhile, the paper, the top story on the Nation newspaper says ECOWAS court stops government from sanctioning Twitter users. Now, the writer saying Twitter became a security risk to Nigeria. House panel grieves Lai Mohammed and a couple of others. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, thank you once again. It is a good development because from beginning, we know that there is no law that has been enacted criminalizing the usage of Twitter under our Nigerian jurisprudence. There is no such law in existence. And we also know that our Nigerian court also will make a court that is actually established to service the citizens of the West African countries. And if you have any right of a citizen of ECOWAS that is actually infringed by the government of any of the countries in West Africa, you have a right to come to ECOWAS court. And meanwhile, you remember that Jusun was on strike. While Jusun was on strike, this case was filed by SERAP, by their lawyer, Mr. Femi Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria. He was questioning the rationale for banning another threat. So the court has made a pronouncement to quite right. But they engaging in any prosecution or arrest of any of the citizens using Twitter that was made. They have to file their main papers, and the court will decide on the substantive issue, whether the banning of Twitter or the suspension of Twitter was right under our law, under the law that our protocol that has been assessed as a country that belongs to West Africa.
But the federal government, that's Nigeria, is a sovereign country, and it has to do what it deems fit, what it feels is good enough to enable good governance and for the betterment of the citizens. What is wrong with Nigeria as a sovereign country to have taken this action? Legally speaking, that is.
Can the lady please echo the question, because at the time I was not hearing him. Can you echo the question that he just put across to me? Can the lady, because I hear her clearly.
Okay.
All right, my colleague was saying Nigeria is a sovereign nation, and what is wrong with if the country decides to do what is right for the people, what the country seems right, what the leader seems right for the people, since the country is a sovereign nation. So he's asking, what are your thoughts on that? What's your take on it?
Well, it appears we're having some audio challenges there.
My God, this technical hitch. At the time, I lost complete. Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with this. I'm very sorry. But if I may get you right, you are saying that Nigeria is a sovereign country, and they have a right, to determine what is good for them and all that. No, the point is this: the moment you become a member of these international bodies, and there are protocols and treaties you sign, you have subsumed your sovereignty to those what you call big organizations that actually become an umbrella for these nations. Just like the World Court. The World Court can try any Nigerian who is alleged to have committed any of these crime against humanity, even though you are a sovereign country and all that. So the moment you sign all these protocols, the moment you subsume yourself to their laws and treaties and all that, then you have lost part of your sovereignty. So they have a right to decide the issue that has to do with your citizens when they come to court. This ECOWAS court was established by all the countries in West Africa. And they all signed to it. And they also agreed to be bound by the decisions of that court. And so if you have any fundamental right encroachment by any of the states under West African umbrella, the ECOWAS, you can come to that ECOWAS court and ventilate it. And they will hear you and give judgment. So what has happened is that Nigeria is a member of ECOWAS, and it has also subsumed itself to the decision of ECOWAS court. So there is no breach of any of the sovereignty of Nigeria. So they are saying, yes, they have a country to protect. The issue of national interest, the issue of national security is clearly of a priority. But you must also protect your national interest and your national security in accordance with your state law. In accordance with your law.
Right, then. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this topic. And now it's time to move to the main topic of the day. Now the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section on public interest, property and development law, MBA Speedo, Dr. Monday Ubani, has kicked against what he described as anti-democratic policies of President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration. The recent practice direction issued by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court and the plan by Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to make drug tests compulsory for intending couples. Now we still have Barrister Monday Ubani with us via Sky to shed more light on this development. Now it's back to you, Barrister Monday Ubani. You described this policies as anti-democratic and retrogressive. So I want to know your thought. Why do you have to use such words? You know, it's this were your words, if I'm correct. So let's hear your thought on this.
Thank you very much. We are under democracy. We made that choice from 1999. Of course, prior to 1999, we were under the military, and the military ruled by what you call edicts and decrees. They can just wake up in the morning and just churn out decrees and edicts that bind our life. But the moment you choose civilian democracy, you are now going to be governed by constitution. You are going to be governed by laws. Rules and regulations. So you must comply with your laws, you must comply with your constitution. And that's why when they were sworn in, they all swore to uphold the provisions of the constitution. One of the provisions of the constitution is the issue of respect of fundamental human rights that is enshrined in chapter 4 of the 1999 constitution. Now, there is a particular practice direction that was churned out last week by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. That particular practice direction is made in favor of a litigant. That's Federal Inland Revenue Service. That law says if the Federal Inland Revenue Service assesses you as a taxpayer, maybe they assess you 1 billion or 100 million or whatever amount of money, they can freeze your account. They can confiscate your property. Now, for you to have audience in the same court that is issuing this practice direction, you have to go and deposit 50% of that amount in an interest yielding account. It is when you deposit 50% of whatever you are challenging, then the court now will grant you audience and then listen to you. And we said that this is clearly wrong. A court of the land is the only place we run to when you are wrong, when you feel aggrieved. Now, the same court is now giving a prospective litigant an upper hand against you. Already you are contesting the assessment that has been made against you, and they're asking you to go and pay 50%. That is a clear violation of your right of fair hearing. You have not been given fair hearing. The court is already asking you to go and pay a certain amount of money as your tax assessment. We feel that that is clearly, contrary to fair hearing principle that is enshrined in the Constitution. And of course, in the order of laws, practice direction is the lowest of all the laws. It's not an enactment of any state house of assembly. It's not an enactment of any of the National Assembly. And so it is clearly something that is a clear violation of the rights of fair hearing. And I felt that part of these measures, is anti-democratic, is unlawful, is unconstitutional. Based also on the statement made by the NDLEA chair, who says before you can get married now, one of the things you need to do is to go and do a drug test. Because of the growing menace of drug addiction in the country, I agree we need to fight it. But now subjecting prospective intended couples to go and do a medical test or drug test before you get married or before you get employment, I think we're taking it too far. That can only happen under the military, not necessarily under the democratic institution we are presently operating. And I felt that these are some of the growing anti-democratic policies of this government that we need to tackle at the root before it becomes a national disaster.
Now, I'm glad you said you agreed to the fact that drug is being proliferated in this country, and there is high level of abuse of drug. Now, when you check out the demography of the humans, I mean Nigerians, who are mostly involved in this drug addiction and what have you, it's the youths. So one would think that we have to go beyond the law right now to do what is right. And everybody out there, come to think of it, the Constitution, most aspects of the Constitution is not being upheld today. We all know that, and hence the call for review of the Constitution and stuff like that. Now, I wouldn't think, and someone out there will always agree with me, that the fact that the NDLEA is planning to conduct this drug test, it doesn't do any harm to the couple in question, but does a lot of good to the country and, of course, the moral level of the society.
Yeah, the Constitution make a provision for respect of your privacy. Anything that has to do with your privacy is a constitutional issue. Now, if there is going to be a derogation, I mean, what I mean by limitation of that right, you still have to enact a legislative, you have to make an enactment of law that limits that under a democratic society, especially interests of national security and the national interest. Now, what he said is just a mere pronouncement. If there is going to be a limitation where every person will be subjected to a drug test before he marries or before he secures employment, let that be a bill presented before the National Assembly. Let that bill pass through the process of lawmaking. Remember that we first and second reading, and then there will be the input of the members of the public. Then in doing that, people at that point in time will make their own input, whether they will like such a law to be enacted where everyone who wants to get married will be subjected to a drug test. At least the people will have an input, but not by a pronouncement of an NDLEA chairman who says this is what he thinks should be, and then probably becomes a law. And so that's why we're trying to probably, cut down this growing tendency to be anti-democratic. Mere pronouncement, just like what the president did. Mere pronouncement now bans Twitter. Mind you, over 40 million Nigerians are using Twitter. Because you had an issue with Twitter, they deleted your statement they considered very offensive. You now feel that 40 million Nigerians should be denied the use of Twitter. That can only happen under the military. And that's why those actions are being challenged. So I am totally in agreement for us to fight drug addiction. And we know what dangers has done to the country, especially to the young ones. They carry a lot of criminality and all that under the influence of drug. But in doing it, we must also be careful to respect people's rights, because there are provisions already under our law where people are protected. Their right of privacy, must be protected. Their right of dignity of person must be protected. So the moment you want to do that, then go to the National Assembly. Let there be a law enacted, through the process of lawmaking, where there will be input of the members of the public. Then you can go ahead and do that. But for now, mere pronouncement of NDLEA chairman cannot become law. The same thing with that of the president.
All right, then in your statement, paraphrasing your statement, you said that Nigerians are feeling suffocated with several restrictive measures limiting their civil space by the current administration, and you described it, as I said earlier, as retrogressive and anti-democratic policies. Now, briefly, running an anti-democratic policy in a democratic system of government doesn't feel right. So what do you think can be done? Briefly.
What I think should be done is we must have a very alert National Assembly. They must be very alert in order to check the excesses of the executive. In fact, when we are running democracy, there are three arms of government. They are there to do what we call checks and balances. Those checks and balances are an inherent ingredient of democratic institution. the moment you don't have those strong institutions checkmating one another, then we have problem. That's why most of us go to the judiciary, who is another arm that can declare the acts of executive or that of the legislative chambers unlawful. You know, recently I got a judgment against National Assembly. I'm sure you're aware of it, where the issue of their jumbo pay, was, discussed. And the court says the only authority that should fix salaries and allowances of National Assembly member is Revenue Mobilization and Allocation Commission. Hitherto, they were the one fixing all the allowances and salaries, and they are bogus. They are very jumbo, and they are detrimental to our economic realities and all that. So I went to court to get that. Remember also when the issue of SIM card and name, came up, they now gave an ultimatum. I also went to court and said that ultimatum was also wrong. We don't give ultimatum. You rather allow people to naturally go and register, because as at the time we were doing our SIM card, we were not given the condition that you must obtain a NIM before you register your SIM and all that. There was no such law. So these are things we have to do under democracy. We have other arms of government checkmating each other, and that judiciary remains that most viable arm of government we run to when we have issue of grievance against any of the violations of our rights. So that is why I'm raising this concern, because I'm seeing most of this anti-democratic situation in the country where pronouncement has become law, where the Attorney General says whoever uses Twitter will be prosecuted. We ask the question, which law? Has there been any law that now makes it a criminal offense for you to use Twitter? And there is no law. So if we had allowed him, it would have become a law. And before you know it, they start arresting you for using Twitter and all that. So that checkmating of government officials is very important for us to run a democratic country, or else we become like a dictatorial regime, a military regime, which will actually violate our rights.
Thank you so very much, Monday Obani. We've been talking with Monday Obani, a legal practitioner, chairman, NBA Spadel. Joined us via Skype. And at this juncture, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have yet another very interesting topic for you. Stay with us.
Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. and it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes?
I have a solution for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
If you no sabi cook the banga, you no go enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga efo riro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali banga, natural palm fruit extracts for tasty African.
It's midweek edition of Daybreak here on iBrandTV Lagos. Now, for political systems to be representative, all parts of society must be included. When young people are disenfranchised or disengaged from political processes, a significant portion of the population has little or no voice or influence in decisions that affect group members' lives. Now, to further discuss this, we have right here in the studio a political technocrat in the person of Dr. Dayo Kayode. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Dayo.
Good morning. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Nice seeing your faces again.
Thank you.
It's really good seeing yours too, with the beautiful smiles.
Really? Maybe because of the rains.
Yeah, there is no doubt about it that in Nigeria today, the youths are being disenfranchised, politically speaking.
Really?
What is responsible?
Are they really disenfranchised?
They are.
Okay.
We all know.
How?
And what we want to know now is, are they either directly or indirectly responsible or contributing to this disenfranchisement?
For me, I wouldn't believe in that statement that youth are being disenfranchised. But when you say are being, that means some people up there are intentionally disenfranchising them, either by way of not allowing the youth to register as voter or to participate in electioneering activities. So I wouldn't say I want to believe that. But before we even go further, who are the youths? What do you mean by youth? Is it youth by age, or youth at heart, or youth at activities? Do you understand? Because we can look at youth from different perspectives.
Yeah, sure.
I have seen a situation whereby I was climbing a staircase with somebody who is far, like 25 years, even younger than me, but started pampering at about 15 stair. So who is more useful there? We have seen people of younger age that cannot even make good use of IT equipment, unlike people that are even older than them. So youth in what sense? But I want to guess you are looking at age. Maybe people from 18 to about 35 or thereabout. If those are the people you are looking at, there is nobody who has intentionally disenfranchised anybody. But when you talk of politics, politics is all about interest. It is all about interest. It is all about focus. All right? And it is all about or ideology of the mind. You should look at people like Bukola Saraki, people like Ayo Fayose, people like Dimeji Bankole, people like even go on, and all of that. How old were they when they started engaging themselves in political activities and processes? Were we not having elderly people there then? Even look at our own BAT, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at what age? Because sometimes when I read about his political engagements, how he was following some political leaders then, and now finally he emerged as a senator. Do you understand? Power is never served a la carte. You struggle for it.
Dr. Dayo, you mentioned some names like Bola Ahmed Tinubu and a few others.
Bukola Saraki,
yeah.
Ayo Fayose.
Correct, no doubt about that. But I want to bring you back to the present day politics. Now, we have some persons who are up to 70, and now you mentioned Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and if you look at that, the people he was following made room for him to be part of this political system.
Perhaps you didn't read it very well. Nobody ever made room for him. While some were out there to make money from their leaders. According to the history I read, he was even making his own money available to be used.
You mentioned that he followed some persons and became senator later on. So I want to bring you back to the present day. Now, these people, even in power, the ones following them, rather than they rather push themselves to be leaders and leave the young ones behind to continue being followers, or use those people as political thugs for their political gain. So would you say that there is the politics of those days and these days, I'm sure they are totally different in every ramification?
Yeah, politics of those days, when you are talking of politics of those days and this time, I want us to look at this time from 1999 downwards. And in those days, during the time of Baba Olowo, Baba Ajashin, Jack Conde, and co. Do you understand? If you look at politics of today, two things can be brought to the fore here. One, it is fraught with money. Okay? If you don't have enough money to throw around, you wouldn't be seen as capable of occupying a particular position.
Which is not supposed to be.
I'm coming. Who is making it to be? Who is also making it to be? Two, politics of today is also enmeshed in what is in it for me. What is in it for me? If you want me to work for you, even you are a mediocre, even if you are a mediocre and you have money and you want people that are even well learned to work for you, they will ask you what is in it for them. I don't like to mention names here. Okay? And all they do is they now give them money. Go and work for me. They are not the one asking you to go and kill and maim. At least you belong to one or two platforms on the social media. And you see the way people are fighting themselves because of candidates. Candidates that they have never even seen. That they don't even know. You see them fighting. Why? Because they go there always to do atenuje, to take crumbles underneath the table. Rather than you to start aright and say, look, I have followers. And then these followers are saying, now look, we believe in this person. This person is learned. This person is socialized. This person has seen it all. We like his programs. Let us follow him. without collecting a dime. Let us even contribute money for him. Let us even contribute money for him. But rather, the moment you don't have money, they will say, if you don't have money, hide your face. I mean, and that is why till today, it will be difficult for upcoming, because they are not even ready to sacrifice. Not that all of them, but when I'm saying they, I mean a larger proportion are not ready to sacrifice in terms of the little resources they have, pulling it together, okay? And then their time. I'm talking from experience, from wide experience on different levels. They believe in, what can I take from you now? Because by the time you get to that place, then, and to that extent, those ones will now say, look, Shebi, when I asked you to work for me, I paid you. So what do you want again? And by the time the next time comes, they will still bring money to pay and they will still collect. We have heard of different sentences in this country, like stomach infrastructure. It has become part of us now. The Bokomiko Sebe, it has become part of us now, and so many of them like that. And at the end of the day, what happens? When you are being given 10,000 today, you that has been given that free 10,000, we first of all do one or two things that are very weird, and it won't be 10,000 again. Even when you are not doing things that are weird, there, that 10,000 can solve your problem for 4 years. Like I was telling some people, I said, yes, I want somebody to come and buy my vote. Yes, I'll be ready to sell my votes, but at a particular price.
And what's that price?
I'll tell you now. I will calculate my housing needs for 4 years that you are going to be there. I will calculate my feeding and my family. When I say me, including me and my family, for 4 years. Okay? I will calculate my transport needs, both within Nigeria and abroad, for 4 years, and my family. Okay? I will calculate my health needs, myself and my family, for 4 years. Do all those things, aggregate them together. If you can pay me, then I vote for you. So the moment we are ready to do that, you will see that all these people, they will now make all those infrastructure that will be able to allow people to live like human beings. They make all those infrastructures available. And by so doing, that position will not also be too enticing again for those that are never to do well in governance. Rather, align people that are really ready to serve, including the so-called youth now, because I too am a youth.
Indeed, you are youth at heart.
Not only youth at heart, even in action. Do you understand? So, by the time we start to do that, then you will now see a lot of people that are ready to work conscientiously for the development of our country coming up.
Okay, now you've mentioned anybody who is interested in buying your vote.
Yes.
What the person should do.
It has a price.
Yes, it has a price, and
Yes.
that goes to show how important the value attached to vote.
That vote.
Meaning, one shouldn't just go there and surrender the vote for
peanuts.
Okay.
For peanuts.
Right. Good. Now, from the EndSARS protests, which the youths organized and carried out, it took everybody by surprise. Nobody saw it coming, and the youths just woke up one morning and decided to do that. There was no arrangement, there was no plan. It just happened, and it would have been so successful, but for the fact that it was hijacked, number one. Number two,
that it was not planned.
No, I am coming.
It was planned. It was conceptualized.
No, at
you
least
might not know.
We knew that there was no leader. They just organized themselves, you know, at the spur of the moment. Well, now, with the awareness the NSAS protest has created, do you see the youths keeping up with that awareness now come 2023? And do you see the youths waking up from slumber and taking their destiny into their own hands? Come
Okay, don't let me go into other areas of the NSAS,
I don't go with
which you mentioned. Rather, I just go to
Yeah.
the awareness created by the youth, okay?
And what the future holds based on what happened.
I've been thinking that tempo would have been sustained, okay? But to a very large extent, where are they now? To what extent do they know that they should partake in electioneering processes that will throw them up? I don't know whether that will throw them up. Yes, when you look at some posters as regards local government election coming up, you see so many of them wanting to become the councillor, wanting to become the chairman and all that. Again, are they throwing up their best? Are you with me? Are they throwing up their best that can successfully represent them? That by the time they are there, they will not forget where they were coming from. Because I have heard some of them complaining that look at him, and that time we did so, he has not even won election. Just a candidate. He has started beefing them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? He has started beefing them. But my own is, the youth of nowadays, especially, I'm talking of those between the ages of 18 and 35, should learn on how to hold themselves and then build on successes and not brooding on failures. I don't know whether you understand. They should learn to build on their successes rather than brooding on failures. Look at what happened during the NSAS, especially the way they were all together in unison on the social media. If only they can transport that to the field, they can transfer that to the field of electioneering processes between you and me. The sky will be the limit for them.
Okay, Doctor.
But it's so unfortunate. They've started beefing themselves.
Dr. Dayo, quickly and finally, this question is, how realistic do you think it is for Nigeria to have a young president between, let's say, like 35? Because with the issue of godfatherism, it personally, I think, is becoming a problem because the original concept of godfatherism has been abused. People now push in their candidates, sponsor the candidate, and they are hardly these young ones. Yeah. So how realistic do you think it is Nigerian having...
Two areas.
Okay.
When you're talking of 35,
just a young person, I just use that age.
Young person, you are looking at somebody like Macron in France. You are looking at this guy in Canada, all right? And then a few of them like that. You see, I want us to also do some kind of comparative analysis here, okay? Thus, a 35-year-old person equates a 35-year-old person in those climes, in terms of exposition, in terms of freedom, in terms of understanding, and in terms of participating in electioneering processes. You cannot compare them. But when you want to pick somebody of 35-year-old there, okay, you pick somebody here who is probably about 50, 55, thereabout. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say. So to that extent, it's a bit, not until when we do that comparative analysis, we might not be able to get anywhere, okay? Now, if you look at the young, not too young to run concept that happened during the last election. There are some people that came up as presidential candidates. Who are they? How many people do they have behind them? How many of the youths were also behind them? I have a very good example of a friend who went to contest in the last election in Ondo State as a for governorship. Okay, on the social media, you see all those youths hailing him, following him on the social media. But on ground, where are they? If we could judge, if we were ready to judge how many of those youths were following him on the social media to that of the votes he was to earn, I mean, this guy will have given the present governor, I mean, a run for his time. Money. I don't want to use for money.
Okay.
A run for his time. Do you understand? That is one. Two, when you also look at, not only in Nigeria, in developing nations, especially in Africa, the issue of godfatherism, it has always been there, and they always say, take your turn. All right? And that is where I'm saying, if the youth can start early enough, do you understand? Start early enough. Probably by the time they're about 25, 30, 35, it will have gotten to their turn. But most people don't join until probably when they are now 40, okay? And meanwhile, some people are on queue before it gets to them. 4 plus 4, 8. Another 4 plus 4, 16. Maybe they have about 2 people in front of them. 16 plus, maybe they are 40. It's getting to 56. And along the line, he might want to shift party again. Right. Due to one thing or the other. Then go and queue up again. So those are some of those factors that are working here, which we need to properly understand before we can be able to sort all these issues.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you, Doc.
Dayo Kayode. It's always a delight to have you in our studio.
My pleasure.
All right, now that was Dr. Dayo Kayode, political technocrats. We just wrapped up the segment of youth participation in politics. So up next now, the sport lovers, stay tuned because GDS is standing back to bring you up to what speed with what's happening in the world of sports. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do na make you go for the open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again, my brother no waste time again. Just go buy Banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447. 08035644436 07066638213. Banga Fresh Palm.
You're welcome back to the show. It's still iBrand Daybreak on A beautiful Wednesday morning in Lagos, Nigeria. And now it's time to delve right into the social media buzz. As usual, I would say if you're just joining in, you've joined in very late. But not to worry, later in the day we'll have a repeat belt. And also tomorrow is Thursday. And we are stepping into the weekend bit by bit. We have an amazing segment for you tomorrow. Please don't miss it by 9 a.m. on the dot. And our social media buzz, social media is buzzing. As usual, there's this particular one says, Chidebere Uba is asking, is it right to say I'm sorry when you know you are not wrong? Before I give my personal response and Michael give his personal response, we just read responses from social media users. Says, Dixon Favor says, and we wonder why we are raising weak kids. Say sorry only when you're wrong, or only when you're wrong now. Always apologizing when you aren't wrong can make people take advantage of you. Don't say sorry because you just want to say it. Just say sorry because you mean it and you make a resolution. And replying to that, Innocent would say, so you would raise yours to get into unnecessary fight just to show they're not weak? All right, someone else replied, Lucky said, no, if you're telling people I am sorry for wrong they did to you, instead of either ways, they will take that wrong as right. Let your sorry to someone has values. For Lakemi says, sometimes saying sorry is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it's saying, let's move on and allow peace to thrive. And Precious says, if you have to say I'm sorry every time you're not wrong, just for peace to win, then you're going through a form of abuse. One day you will sense that person beyond salvage. And that other person who is comfortably feeling good with an undeserved apology is a monster. Get away from such people, I beg. And finally, Pascal David said, hello, my gentlemen. Please take note. Once you are married, you are always wrong. Whether you did something or you did not do, you are still wrong. Just say, I am sorry, for long life's sake. If she greets you good morning, just tell her, please, sorry, darling, good morning, my love. I am sorry for not greeting you first. That way your wife will die before you. Sure, you get the point. Well, I don't know about that particular one. So, Michael, what do you have to say about saying sorry? Generally, not about when you're married now. Generally, saying sorry always when you're not wrong.
Oh, I want to begin by saying that you're sorry is not a sign of weakness. Yeah. Rather, it is a sign of strength, a sign of maturity, a sign of dignity. Okay? When you say sorry, again, it matters whether you mean it or not. If you keep saying sorry and singing it like a song, it becomes valueless. But when you say sorry and make sure that that thing you did wrong is never repeated, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
What if you're not wrong?
If you're not wrong, no, yeah, that's a very good one. When you are not wrong, and the person you are with, expects you to say sorry, wants you to say sorry, and the whole matter will be resolved. Say it. You lose nothing. It doesn't cost you a farthing to say you're sorry. Let peace reign.
All right. That was coming from Michael Nath, the peacemaker, in my opinion, I think. I think that there's nothing wrong with saying sorry. For the sake of peace, it's always good. A short sorry is like, it could be like an anthem for some people. It could mean nothing for some people, but just say sorry if you think it's right to say sorry. Right?
Let peace reign.
All right, thank you so much for joining on the show today. And please join us tomorrow for another segment. I'll leave you with this quote from Dr. Henry Link. It says, from rather a Hasidic proverb that says, the man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. Say that again, the man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. With this, we'll wrap up the show. My name is Margaret Obara.
And I'm Michael Nath. Catch you again tomorrow.